be ready because they don't give you hardly any rest. We literally had buckets on the side of the pool for people who are going to throw up. We just make these at such a high level, but it also gives you job qualifications. It's like, yeah, we want you to, but let's say there's a fight scene, then you have to get on a bike to drive off, and then you have to like climb something like a tower or something, then jump off the tower, then go for a swim. So you have to be able to do everything. My first time did it, everything went wrong. Then I started breathing, taking in water, and drowning. It's a long journey. But it's like, I've given that time of my life out for this.
So the way we start the podcast is the last guest we had on leaves a question for the next guest. And usually they've got a bit of background to who the next guest is going to be.
Okay.
But our last guest cancelled. So...
Oh well, I'll give it a go.
We haven't got the question specifically for you, but it's a relevant question, I think.
Okay.
So he asked, when you were at your best mentally, what was it in your life that made it so? Like, what were the things that were happening in your life? What made that point the place where you were best mentally?
I've got kind of two places, but they're like similar kind of things that are happening.
Okay.
So the first one was obviously actually funny enough with you when I'd finished uni, so I had literally like it was like 3 or 4 months off.
Yeah.
Before I started working regularly, and then we were doing obviously climbing every day pretty much. I think it was like Monday to Friday, wasn't it? Yeah. And we would do meet up like 10 o'clock, do our climbing probably till about 3 or 4. You obviously went off to work. I just went home and chilled. But,
that, honestly, I've never climbed that much in my life since. Like, we were, honestly, 4 or 5 days a week, climbing for 4 to 5 hours a day, with maybe a half hour to sit down and eat in the middle.
It was great. And then we're doing at the top rope, we'd do all the, we'd do a whole, 3 or 4 lines together. On your own, and then we'd switch over. Yeah, that was great. So,
yeah, it was proper climbing training, and that was when I was at my best for climbing.
Yeah, no, same. Yeah, 100%.
Like, I didn't even realise how good I was getting because we was in my Spider, and I think the best route I had done indoors with you was a 6C+.
Yeah, it was. It was the
lead.
Corner, wasn't it? I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did that lead at 6C+, because that was me training for Canada, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I spent ages doing that training program for Canada, and you had the benefits of getting a free training plan that was specific for climbing, which is what you was trying to get good at the time. And
awesome.
I remember I went out to Canada. I had no idea that the grades were different. I was that ignorant with climbing.
Yeah.
And I get out there, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is like a 511D," and I was like, "Means nothing to me. I'm just going to climb it." And because I was so oblivious to how hard it was, I can't remember what the grade was now in the American grading system, but I remember it converted to a 7B+.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And I was like, what? I just when I got back and I was looking it up, I was like, I did a 7B+.
That's outside as well.
Yeah, it was a pitch of a multi-pitch, big wall multi-pitch, and it was I did a 7B+. Since when was I capable of doing that? But plan obviously worked. So
yeah, it was great, wasn't it? Yeah, so I remember I was doing that, Monday to Friday, going home, just chilling, just enjoying life, obviously not working at that time. It was just, I think it was just having that solid routine, having a mate to talk to every day, because then now, literally the start of this year has probably been the best time of my life, to be fair, mentally, because it was literally from that period from January to April, because basically I'd meet my mate every day, go for a walk, literally walk from my place to Kingston, which is about 40 minutes. It's about maybe 2-3 miles, so we'd walk there, go to the gym, obviously do gym together and that, come back, probably do a bit of boxing with each other, but on the way you're just chatting rubbish, or you're talking about okay, what's your goal today, what's my next, what am I going to do tomorrow, what's the future plan, let's look forward to that, let's just keeping each other check every single day, literally Monday to Sunday. I don't think we'd miss the occasional day here and there, but it was great because we'd meet up, whatever time is always. Well, it started off at 11. We just kept bringing it back and back and back till about 9. And obviously then I had work as well, so I'd be training from 9 till about 2. Get home, then literally eat, straight off to work. then even sometimes in the evening I'd have gymnastics or something, or trampolining. So I was busy. I wasn't enjoying the work too much, to be fair, because it was like every day as well. So it's like 7 days working, 7 days training, like no time to chill. Whereas now I've got too much time to chill, even though I'm still training as much. But now I'm not meeting him so much because he moved to Alton, which is like an hour drive for me. So we meet each other. We're trying to bring it back to like maybe 3 or 4 days a week, meeting up. But yeah, that was literally my best time mentally, because there's no time to really think about. You're not lazing about. You're going forward. You know you're moving in the right direction. And like I said, it's that thing of having a mate every day to talk to. So whatever you got in your head, we just go, yeah, I'm feeling bad about this, or this is something I want to change about myself. What's the steps to get there? Obviously, still having a laugh.
Yeah.
But a lot of that helped massively. So I think, yeah, to get your mentality up, you definitely need to have someone there that there's no judgment on as well. So yeah, I think that was my best time mentally. So obviously with you, and then it's that same kind of thing, like having a schedule and having a mate, basically. I think every day, like not a day off.
I think the whole judgment thing is something that was important to throw in there. Like having someone that you can talk to without them trying to fix your problems for you.
100%.
And without them, like you said, casting some form of judgment on you, on like, no, that's bad, but that's good. It's just like, okay, I'm here to support you.
Yeah.
What do you need?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like you make the decision on what you need from them rather than them telling you what to do.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So having a routine, having that person there, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so.
So with this podcast, I really wanted to dive into the world of stunt training.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what really like brought us together, I think.
Yeah.
Like we were doing training and stuff before, and then we both started going down the stunt route, which I've given up on.
That's fair enough.
Just because I found other things that I wanted to do more than stunt work. Did a few bits of stunt work, but then like you're still on that journey.
Yeah.
And you've been doing it for like how long now?
Well, properly training for it, I'd say after uni. So I was 21 then, 27 now, so 6 years. Yeah.
6 years.
But obviously, I lost 2 years to COVID, like everyone did.
Yeah.
And then I went to obviously South Korea, which we'll probably cover later on. But yeah, that was like 3 years. So I look at it as like, no, you've been training 3 years, but the time has been 6 years still, regardless.
Because it was like 2 years, then a break.
Yeah.
Now the past year, you've been back on it.
Yeah. So it's just it's such a long journey, to be honest.
Yeah.
Hoping, end of next year, all done. Finally.
Well, you're making big steps to it. But like, I don't think anyone listening is going to understand what it takes to like train to be a stuntman.
Yeah.
So can you walk us through like how the stunt register works, like what the process is like, and like how difficult it actually is? Because I had no idea when I started.
Yeah. So basically, obviously, the actual stunt register itself, pretty much 99% of stuntmen are on it in England, and worldwide it's recognised as the best of the best, basically, stunt register. Even though, in my opinion, like in Asia, for example, they got better stuntmen for fighting. Like in America, probably better at like vehicles and stuff. But we're kind of good at everything. So we're not the best at one specific place, but we're kind of good at everything. So this kind of register, that's what it kind of tries to get you to do, to basically learn as many different sports and skills as possible. So then eventually, obviously, you can be employed for any job. So like they were like, I remember when I went to their meeting first, it was like, yeah, we want you to, let's say there's a fight scene, then you have to get on a bike to drive off, and then you have to like climb something like a tower or something, then jump off the tower, then go for a swim. So you have to be able to do everything, but not necessarily at an elite level, I'd say an advanced level. But yeah, basically, so you have to get on it, you need 6 different skills across 5 different categories. And in those categories, they've got about maybe 9, 10 you can choose from. Sorry, in their skills, you can choose from 9, 10. So let's say you've got fighting, which is like anything up to martial arts to boxing. Usually it's a belt below black, and then a bit of competition experience. And now they've done it. It's the same thing, belt below black, or some of them are black belt. I'm not sure which ones. And then you have to do like a fighting workshop. So they're starting to add workshops to it now. So you've got that one, and then you've got like, let's say water, which is swimming or scuba diving. You can have 2 in a category as well, but you have to have something across all 5. So then, the scuba diving one is like Paddy Dive Master, I think now. that's like 60 dives, and it all has to be in British waters as well now. It used to be you could go and do it in a nice country with nice waters, but
somewhere warm.
Yes, and
not in the UK.
where you can actually see it. And I've spoken to a couple of my stunt trainees, and they absolutely hate it. I couldn't do it, to be fair. I did my first time did it. Everything went wrong. Like nothing fit me. I'd put the mask on. It's every single mask. There's a box of 50 of these things. They're all dropping off my face, and she's like, yeah, maybe she maybe needs to shave it. I was like, yeah, I can't do it now, can I? She's like, yeah, we'll just have to deal with the water in your eyes. I was like, great, that's one thing, that's one problem. Get the harness on with like the what's it called, CO2 tank or oxygen tank, sorry.
Yeah, you don't want a CO2 tank on your back.
Yeah, and I'm funny enough, I can't remember what she said. She's like, yeah, actually, you're not supposed to call it an oxygen tank because that's, I said, I can't remember.
It's just compressed air.
That's it, yeah, or whatever it is.
Breathing apparatus.
Yeah. So anyway, put that on, and you're supposed to like pull these two tags to like tighten it up, but it was too small for my body or whatever. And I was doing that, and nothing's going. I'm literally cutting my skin. I'm pulling so hard on these metal things. I'm like, fucking get on my. And she's like, do you want some help? I was like, yes, please. And she put it up. Even when she's helping me, nothing's going. She's like, I mean, it looks like it's alright. It was like a bit loose. It was just, I don't know. It was really weird. It just didn't fit nicely. So that wasn't fitting. Obviously, the flippers, I had to change like 3 or 4 of them. With my wetsuit or whatever one, I think it was dry or wet. 2 or 3 times I had to try that on, and then it was like a trial, so it was me, and then there was like a girl with me, and like she was just obviously knew everything. Sometimes I like going into things blind, so I was like, I did no research. I was like, yeah, let's see what happens. Usually I'm not like that actually, but with this one I was like, I don't want to put myself off with anything, so just go in and just see what happens. She literally knew all the answers. She was asking. She did our teacher was like doing this like equation thing. She was like, so when you go down, it's 10 bar, 20 bar, 30 bar. Anyway, she's doing this equation. She was like, right, so, and then she's doing all these hand signals, like, that means you've got 10 minutes, or this is up. She was like, right, what does this mean? Like, fucking sign language. And I'm just there like, okay, that's 20, what was that one again? And then the girl just goes, 120! So they're like, yeah, so she's getting everything right, perfectly right, everything. She's answering all the questions, like, because she did like a 20-minute, the teacher did like half an hour of just talking. I just don't pick things up like that. I just learn things physically. So she's doing all these signs bars, just reading all these lists and stuff. Shows us how to clear our masks and that, right? So again, none of my stuff's fitting. It's all going wrong. This girl's everything on straight away. She's just sitting there waiting for me, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. This is not working now. Then we get into the pool, and then they do a thing of like, right, we're just gonna practice breathing underwater. Do it. It's my thing's making a wheezing sound when I'm breathing. It's like the thing's dying. I'm like, that can't be good, surely. And she's like, no, it's fine. We'll be okay. I was like, okay, trust you. Go in. No, it was fine. Yeah, under the water up. And then she says, right, now we're gonna lower ourselves down. And I don't know how to do this. I'm like, right, just go onto your knees. So I just do a thing of, when you do that, when you just sit on your knees, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to jump up. And then the thing that like makes you go lower, the button thing. So the two of them just go like that. And then there's me going trying to sit on my knees, like stacking in the water like this, because I can't get my knees on the floor. But you're obviously supposed to jump up and then lower slowly by just trying to put my knees down, but obviously you're floating up, so I'm doing this in the water like that, trying to get down. So I'm focused on that, then I'm not focusing on my breathing. Then I start breathing, taking in water and literally drowning. So I'm just jumping up. She's like, what's wrong? I was like, I'm breathing water. And she's like, yeah, you're supposed to make a lip seal. What? This is I don't know anything about this. You didn't tell me I need to make a lip seal. I'm literally drowning. She goes, right, now we're going to do the clear mask, so it's this. She did it really quickly, and I'm like, okay. She's like, right, just let's go down and do it. She starts doing it underwater, so I'm trying to copy her at the same time. Thing comes out, everything goes up. Again, we have to go up. She's going, yeah, that's why you just watch first, and then you do it after. I was like, you didn't tell me that though before I did. You just said, right, we're doing it now. She didn't say just watch and don't do anything, just breathe. She just went, I'm going to show you. So I automatically in minute, I was like, oh, I'll do that. Anyway, shows us again. I go down, and then again I'm scared now because I've taken in water twice, inhaling water. So I'm like, oh god, trying to get the sit down, all that right. Again, the girl's doing everything perfectly. Down, everything's like, right, you try and clear your mask. I do this. It just means all the water just goes in your mask. You're supposed to do it that way so the air comes out, but I just went, and it's all the water's going off my face. Just come up, and she goes, what goes wrong there? I was like, yeah, I think I did the mask the wrong way. She went, yeah, you're supposed to do it that way. And I was like, yeah, I don't think this is for me, is it? So then literally after that, they go, right, we're going to do some like swimming now. I was like, she's like, do you want to come? I was like, No, I can't. I need to. I can't even breathe underwater first. So I'm just gonna be popping up every minute after you're like, I'll let you guys swim. She's like, are you sure? And I was like, I could just see. I was like, yeah. I'm gonna just be holding you back. Go, go, go. So I had enough at that point. So yeah, that was my scuba diving.
So
journey.
I'm assuming that's not going to be one of your six
No.
now.
I'm doing swimming though, which I enjoy because you can actually just breathe when you want. Not with scuba diving. And I was like, if I can't even go 2 meters down without breathing in water, how am I going to do 30 meters? And then I forget the seal at 1.30 meters down, and then boom, I'm dead. So, not for me. And when I've been speaking to other stunt people, they're like, yeah, it's mental in the English water. It's just you can't see anything. It's just murky, muddy.
No.
You're just trying to crawl through this mud. I was like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't do that. So, yeah, I'm not doing scuba. But anyway, that's the swimming category. You got the water category, so you got, scuba, swimming. So I'm doing swimming. Then you got the driving category, which is horse riding and stunt driving. So I'm hoping to do my stunt driving next year. They made it a lot easier now. They used to have to do rally races and all this stuff, and it would take like a year or so. Yeah. Now it's literally like 3 months. You do.
That was the sort of stuff that put me off.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to do the motocross one.
Yeah, the motocross one.
And it was like, you need to not only have race experience, you need to place in a national race.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Placing in a national race
mental,
in motocross just to get on the stunt driving?
And this is 1 out of 6.
Yeah.
It's mental. So, yeah, I'm so glad they changed that. I think they've still got the motocross one, actually, but the stunt driving one, now it's literally just a 3-day... it's 3 3-day courses, so 9 days in total. And then you can... That's the minimum, and then you can try your test. But that's over about 3... They have to do it every month, so it's about 3 months, so... Very expensive though, so just to put all my savings into it. But I definitely want to do that. I think just because it's more interesting, you get more work.
Yeah.
And let's worst case scenario if I injure something, or even if I'm just older, like I can still probably drive. Whereas like I might not be able to do jumps and stuff, or like fighting scenes. I could just drive. So it's just something longevity. There you go. Longevity wise, I can do stunt driving. So that's another one I'm hoping to do. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Hopefully it goes better than scuba diving, and I don't just crash into everyone or kill anyone. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. But yeah, so you've got stunt driving, and then the horse riding. I wanted to do that, but now they've made you have to show like 2 years experience. You have to get days on set riding. You have to do a stunt. You have to do obviously their riding test, which is like no harness on. Like I don't know what they call it, but yeah, you have to do riding with no harness. You have to do sword and shield on the horse as well. And I was just like, that's going to take me too long. Yeah. And they even say it's like this is mainly for people who've grown up with horses. So my mate, who's pretty much he grew up on the stables, he was like, I literally did it in 3 months. So because you grew up with horses, that's the whole point. So that's like the driving category. Almost there. That's just you've got to get 6. So and then you've got strength one, which is gymnastics, which you obviously know a lot about the gymnastics one. It's very, very difficult. Like all pieces, obviously men's all pieces. Women's I think is just beam, high bar. I think that's... And no, I don't think they do vault, actually. I think it's just beam.
I think there was... Last time I checked, there was vault, and it was like all 4 pieces for women.
They do it, yeah.
It's... I think that from, like, coaching gymnastics and everything, the gymnastics is hard to pick up as an adult if you'd never done gymnastics before.
Yes, that's it, yeah.
I think that's the difficult part. So... Like, for you, because you've got, like, the tumbles and everything, you can do the somersaults, all of that, but because you'd never done gymnastics, like, it's the specific pieces, like rings, pommel, P-bars, like, that's the hard stuff for you. Yeah,
it's like the giants swinging on bars, and, like, the flexibility, especially with, like, the shoulders and everything, the pommel, obviously, exactly like you said, it's from parkour, obviously, like you said, I took the tumbling side, but, the rest of it was just... That's taken me a while. I'm hopefully, maybe mid.
You're almost there, to be fair. Like, from what I've seen, you're close.
It's just little things here and there, and hopefully my shoulder gets a bit better as well. It's just working through that. Yeah. And just working through your injuries.
And part of that, do they still have to do free running as part of the gymnastics assessment?
Yeah, so they've added that in now as well. So they've got, which I hate, I never did this in parkour, with 360, precision jump, hate it. I never did it in parkour, and like, I used to do free running for like 5-6 years, and I can do it now, but... I had to actually learn that because I never did it. I used to do just standard, jumps basically, not any of the free running aspect side. Like I didn't even really flip outside either. I was more just pure parkour. But so they got that in it as well, and all the bar stuff as well, like castaways. swing front and all that. So I've had to learn that.
Yeah, it's more the flashy side of free running rather than like the actual efficient side of free running.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that as well. But yeah, that's the gymnastics test, which is obviously, I've spoken to some people, like literally said adults, and they're like, yeah, I tried it and couldn't do it after like a year because they just hadn't done anything like that. So yeah, bang on that one. And then obviously the other part of the strength category, you've got rock climbing. So obviously we know about that. Hopefully got my test. Well, I've got my test on Monday and Tuesday, so hopefully I'll pass that.
Yeah,
so
fingers crossed.
For that, you need to become a rock climbing instructor. So another massive, long, that's taken me years, isn't it? But obviously we had COVID and that, so I couldn't climb through that. And then obviously I went to Korea.
Yeah.
But yeah, so many, like 40, trad climbs and so many different. That's really a difficult one because you've got to get someone to climb with good weather conditions, time off work, and then you've got to travel to the places as well. So it's a lot of money.
And you can't even do them all in one place. You have to go to 3 different rock types.
Yep.
So that's 3 different parts of the country.
Yep, exactly.
So
it's just, it just takes so long. And it's not just, and then, you literally are a rock climbing instructor, obviously, for outdoor and indoor. So it's quite a high level. Obviously, the climbing itself, I'd say, isn't that difficult, but it's just long. Everything's long. And then even now they used to have one where you had to do multi-pitch as well, like a test with the rock. So you've done the RCI, then you have to do their test. But it was stupid because they said you can do single pitch or multi-pitch. Basically, RCI prepares you for a single pitch, and it literally was exactly what you do in the single pitch test. The RCI test. They was like, what's the point? I've done RCI already. I've already been assessed. I've passed. You're just getting more money out of us and just checking it. And it's funny because they didn't actually have enough people to run that test. So they just went, you don't need that anymore. So they keep changing it, and then they put in IRATA, which is rope access, isn't it? Yeah. So for like most jobs, they use rope, so you got to do that as well, level 1, which is a lot of money. It's like just under $1,000.
Yeah. So you'd need that for like high up window cleaning, for working on wind turbines, some tree surgery, things like that.
So I suppose it's good in a way. Like they kind of, I remember when we had the meeting with them, they were like, the reason we make these are such a high level, but it also gives you job qualifications, so you can actually work on the side as when you're not doing stunt work.
Yeah.
So that's their kind of obviously reason for it, and obviously they want you as high level. Like so, every skill is a high level. There's no skill really that's I'd say easy.
Yeah.
Some are a bit less fearful. Like people like I can do scuba diving, but for me that was probably scarier than doing anything, to be honest. Like I'd still probably prefer high diving, and I'm not doing high diving anymore. But to me, if you gave me a choice between scuba and high diving, obviously I'd do high diving. Maybe if I had a better experience of scuba diving, but even when I was underwater, I could just tell I was like, this ain't for me. And everything this day is telling me this ain't for me. It's telling me, God's telling me something. It's like, get out of that pool. You're not going underwater, boy.
But then for some people, rock climbing and gymnastics isn't going to be for them.
No, exactly. So I suppose it's good in a way they give you all these options.
Yeah.
It's not just a set thing. But so you've got gymnastics, rock climbing, and then I think that's it actually. I think there's one more I'm missing. Oh yeah, falling. That's trampolining and high diving. And then trampolining, it used to be, so a lot of these skills, they made it kind of, some of them easier, some of them harder, but more stunt specific. So like with trampolining, they made it so you have to jump, you have to have proper trampoline technique. You can't just send the moves at like this height, you have to get it head height. And then obviously they took out some certain moves and added in matted moves. But then they added a lot of stuff like routines, like proper trampoline technique.
Yeah.
So then now that takes I think quite long. For me it's taken at least 2 years. Like if I actually sum up all the training, about 2 years, and I trained myself for at least a year and a half from that. So I've done about half a year now training with teachers, which I wish I'd done from the beginning. But I kind of just wanted to do stuff on my own, to be honest. Because sometimes I don't get. It depends on the teacher. A lot of teachers I don't work well with, just because I get almost pressure. If I can't do it, I then feel bad for them because it's like, they must be getting frustrated that I can't do it, and then they're like, oh God, he's not done it again, he's not done it again. And it's like not wasting the time, but I don't know, I just feel bad like if I can't do it. And then I just feel bad for them, and then it makes me go, well, I can't do it, then obviously, and then I kind of give up as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time I work better on my own, because if I don't get it, it's just like, it's just on me though, no one's watching, there's no pressure really. Yeah. Which is ridiculous, because you're paying a teacher to literally teach you, but I'm like, but I've got to get it straight away, and I feel bad because they get frustrated. But I suppose it depends on the teacher, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I found a really good one now with trampolining, because he's very motivational, very positive. morale boosting as well. And I say I'm doing it wrong like 6-7 times, she doesn't get annoyed, because obviously she has to chuck the mat in every time. So that's another thing. I'm like, oh god, she has to chuck, because I know from experience chucking a mat in, it's just long. But obviously I'm not getting paid to teach someone, so. But yeah, so trampolining, doing that one. Hate it though. I enjoy some bits of it, just the easy stuff obviously, and you can just relax and chill in midair. But it's like the twists and stuff. I'm just much more of a somersault person. And even she was saying it's like some people are either somersaulter or a twister, or some people are just good at everything. I think I'm much more of a somersaulter.
Yeah.
Twisting, I get it. I can do it into a pit, but it's as soon as you bring it to like any kind of danger involved, my head just goes no, twist straight away, because it's just protecting one. So everything's like that with me. It takes me a long time to get things, because I just put so many mental barriers in the way, because I'm just scared of injury. And obviously just the fear factor, like you've seen with me in rock climbing, it's like everything has to be perfect for me to go on. And yeah, I'm a perfectionist, but in a way, not in a way. It's like I'm a perfectionist to try and get it, but then I'll give up if I don't get it. Yeah. So it's like really annoying.
I think that's the thing with like a lot of people, is like you try so hard to be perfect that you never end up finishing it.
No, exactly, that's the thing, yeah.
And then it's like my thing, I started saying this to myself, because I was like that, where I was like, it's finished, not perfect.
Okay, yeah, that's
because
good,
like once it's finished, it's out there in the world, it's out of your hands, out of your control, and you just have to accept that. But then it also allows you to like actually finish something, and move on to the next thing, or you could revisit it and do it again. Like there's no harm in that. Like for me, it was when I was writing my book about handstands, and like I'd spent 2 years writing it, but like not dedicated like sitting down writing constantly. I was doing little bits here and there, and then I'd read through it and edit it and tweak it, and I kept sending it to people, and then everyone was like, when are you going to release it? I was like, oh, I don't want to release it.
Yeah.
It's not perfect.
No, exactly.
And then it was like, oh no, like it just got to a point where I was like, I'm just going to do it. I was going to be out there, and then I can go back and revisit it and rewrite it 100%. And have like the second volume of it and all this other stuff. And like I've started doing the second volume, and I'm like, I've missed out so much stuff. But because I was so in the trenches with it, and just like in my own head, I couldn't even think what was missing.
No,
like
exactly.
It was at that point where it's just that you just don't get anywhere.
No, exactly.
So you do need to let go a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I've definitely found trampolining. Yeah, it's like I taught myself quite well, and even when I went to do my trampoline lessons, I know even mid-air, like I've like my arms a bit off there, my legs a bit off, and she's like, no, it's fine though. It's like, I was like, yeah, but I know in my head I've done something slightly wrong. She's like, yeah, but obviously with the stunt thing it would probably pass. Yeah. But for me it's like, no, I actually want to look like I'm a trampolinist, and there's no chance of me failing. Like, and obviously I suppose there's a bit of an ego there in the competition thing. I do want to kind of go there and be kind of the best out of the stunt people doing that test. Because obviously I don't want to go there and see someone do like amazing, because it's obviously I'll go, oh no, I'm not that good, oh shit, and then you get all that again. Whereas if I go there, I know like, okay, I've perfected it. Even if someone else has like perfected it, we're basically on a similar level. But I don't usually get that with most stuff, but I think it's whenever there's someone observing you, or like a crowd, let's say, you want to do perfect for me. Whereas if it's like a kind of solo training, much better. Like with martial arts, I suppose in a way there was when I did performances, but like I said, when you're on your own training, or there's no kind of, I'm just like, just doing, I'm not that critical. I'm a bit more natural with martial arts, to be honest. There's not that much pressure, and obviously when you do sparring, there's a bit of a perfection side there, but it's more like, but I'm just trying not to get hit at the moment. You don't have time to think about being like, oh, I'm doing an exact punch like that, or it's got to be exactly right, because you just use what you can to get through it. But so it's kind of a side I'm trying to get out of the way, like kind of take the ego out from it as well, because there must be some sort of ego in there to try and being perfect, and like you said, try for just finishing it, and then that's what I think this rock climbing assessment will do you good, because I know how much you're stressing about it, and you're like, oh, I don't think I've practiced enough, and like even the assessor
who was the one that took your course, was like, yeah, you'll be fine. Like, I've seen you, you're doing really well. You're better than most stunt people that I've seen. Like, you actually know what you're doing. Like, you're going to be fine. And you're still stressing about it. Like, hopefully I pass. And, like, like, we was out climbing today and yesterday and watching how much you've improved since since we last climbed, which wasn't even that long ago.
Oh, and yes, yeah.
Like, even since then, that's been what, like 3 months?
I think so now, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, because that was my training.
Like, seeing how much better you are at climbing and how much more confident you are going up, it was like, it was a different person.
Yeah.
And, like, following up and, like, every single bit of your gear placements were good.
Yeah.
Even the ones that you said were bad
that's
were
true.
like really good placements. And I was like, I'd be lucky if I like placed all this gear. And part of it was because you were spending so long to try and make sure it was perfect.
It takes ages, that's the
but like, and like I just sort of rush up, and sometimes I'll be like, I'll just whack that in. I know I'm not going to fall and keep climbing. But yeah, like I think once you've passed this, then it will be a bit like, oh, like, I am ready for this stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what's held you back from a lot of your assessments so far. It's just that, like, internal need to do it perfectly.
No, exactly, yeah. And there's a lot of time, because I'm obviously, especially with trampolining, like, I'll be afraid and I'll just find the excuses. Like, I'll say I'll go in, because I go in, like, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday mornings. And obviously the gym is being used by other people as well. And then they would have, like, let's say a girl squad will be on there for, like, half an hour. Go, oh, yes, I don't have to do trampoline, bang, gymnastics. So, like, any excuse I can not go on that trampoline, I'm, like, trying to find. And I go, oh, yeah, my ankle's a bit sore. Yeah, don't do it. And then you just don't get anywhere like that.
Yeah.
And then also a lot of the moves, it's, like, trying to send them. I'm literally, like, it was the same with parkour. It literally would take me probably about, let's say someone does, like, a couple of warm-up jumps and does it. It would take me, like, about 100 warm-up jumps. Then doing every possible thing, even trying to bail it on purpose to get ready for the bailing it and failing it. I'd literally do, right, what's the fail version first? Then I'd do it. And it literally happened, I was doing it. And same thing happened with trampolining, back falls. I was literally doing fine, doing halves all the time. She's like, right, just start trying to bring your arms down a bit quicker and then you can twist. And I knew in my head, oh, okay, I'm going to start twisting more, fearing. And then I literally said to her, I was like, I don't know, I feel like I've been doing some obviously good ones for now, but I feel like it's going to obviously end, I'm going to do something wrong. Literally the next go I did went completely wrong. I twisted my head out because I knew I was trying to go for a full instead of just a half and bring down quicker arms. And I just knew in my head I'm going full, so my head went everywhere. And I went, yep, see, there you go, I called it straight away. I just knew that one was going to go wrong. And I'd done too much of that time. So it's such a mental game with all of this training, to be honest.
Yeah.
And like trampolining especially, it's just all mental. So, but yeah, you got trampolining and high diving, which, yeah, I was going to do, but then I was like, it's either high diving or stunt driving. So I was like, much more interested in stunt driving. High diving, my experience with trampolining, I was like, I know what I'm like, my brain, how many how many mental barriers I put in front of me. I was like, that's just going to take me too long. It'll probably take me 2-3 years.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to get on quick. So I thought, invest in the stunt driving and go down that. And it's more employable and it's more enjoying.
Yeah.
And I can still train high diving, just not under pressure, because you have to do, even with that one, you have to do ridiculous dives. It's not just like in stunts where you'd be like just doing a back tuck onto your feet. It's all like onto your hands and doing crazy stuff like that, like inwards dives. And I don't think there's any twistings, which is good, but you got like 1.5 like front dives into at 10 meters as well. I'm like, nah, no chance, mate. Like I said, I might just learn the basic dives, like falling off and stuff, because it's good for fall training, but that's it.
Yeah.
I don't want it to actually be a stunt skill at such a high level, which arguably I don't think you'd need technically that high level for high diving. I'd rather they do like a basic high diving test than with some like crash mat landings from towers. I think it'd be much more beneficial. So there's a lot of skills like that where I think they could change it so you get to a good enough level, but not such a high level, but then they have like work like they do in the martial art. They have, you're not black belt, you're below black. Arguably I think it should be black belt, but because the fighting is like a main skill in stunt work. But yeah, I think they do that and then have a workshop, maybe like a week workshop where you actually practice it in the profession.
Yeah.
But they're trying to do that more. They have got like firearms courses now. I think they've got some fire courses and stuff like that. But yeah, so anyway, long story short, yeah, you have to get 6 different skills. Each skill roughly is about, I'd say, 2 to 3 years. if you do it properly and everything. And obviously you can train about 2 or 3 skills at a time.
Yeah.
Usually it takes about, I think, 5 to 6 years. Most people, like most stunt people trained, they've been talked to. They're like, yeah, I've done it for about 6 years now, but they're already like 5 or 6 skills in. Whereas me, it's like I've just done martial art. I'm still training gymnastics, still doing rock climbing, still doing trampoline. It's like,
Yeah.
I need to get those out of the way.
So far, you've got 1 out of the 6.
Yeah.
And how close are you to the others?
So trampolining, it's literally just a case of, like I said, the twisting, just getting my head around the twisting, having the confidence to do it. And it's just, having the confidence to do it and just drilling that now, I think. But I'm hoping to do that one, maybe my birthday, so like February next year. I've kept putting it back. I literally was going to say July this year. And then I realised when I went to this 1-to-1, she brought me back to the basics a bit and was kind of cleaning all my moves. And I went, okay, this is not going to be done in July. I need to fix a lot of stuff. And things were taking a lot longer to learn, I thought. But also because I was doing 1-to-1 lessons, I kind of was like, yeah, I'm doing my training in a week now. I don't need to bother training every day, just the basics. But then I started losing the basics again. I was like, oh, for God's sake. So now I'm going to be just focused on trampoline. But yeah, trampoline should be quite fairly quick. And then gymnastics, again, it's just, I injured my shoulder doing it like 6 months ago. That's pretty much better now. So it's just getting back on that, doing all my conditioning, stretching, everything properly. And hopefully that's about a similar time, or maybe like May next year. And then I'm obviously starting swimming after I've done rock climbing, because it's like, it was too much.
Yeah.
I was trying to do swimming as well on top of everything, and my body was just couldn't take it. So yeah, I'm hoping. And then swimming, I'm fairly okay at. Like even without training, I'm about 10-15 seconds out of most of the times. It's just the endurance is mad. Just so much endurance.
Yeah.
And I remember I spoke to people, they're like, yeah, be ready, because they don't give you hardly any rest. They literally had buckets on the side of the pool for people who are going to throw up, because it's that mad. Because even the swimming test is crazy as well. But yeah, so hopefully, like I said, get everything done end of next year latest, and then finally I'll be on it. But I'm going to join the trainee one, which is a good thing they brought out, which means you can still get stunt work. It's just the ends, like all the jobs that no stunt they need stunt people for, but they haven't got enough people to do, basically. And they also have a thing called SPAC work, which sounds funny, but special action work, which is like people in the background just doing fight scenes that aren't really doing stunt stuff.
Yeah.
They get like $250 a day or something. But so you can do that work and also stunt work, but it's just obviously very limited.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people on the trainee database, probably up to like 100, I think. And then you put it in a group chat so you can book like exams and you get all the information basically, and when they're doing workshops. So I couldn't do it this year because I had to cover my boss and work like every day again for like 6 months, and then now I'm freed up a bit. I need to do some more work, A, for money, and B, just to keep me more busy and more motivated, I think.
Yeah.
Because I've gone the opposite now. I was doing it 7 days a week, and now I'm doing 2 days proper work, 1 day, not really that hard. And then now I've got so much free time where I've just resorted back to my old teenage years of just playing games and watching TV and just not doing anything for productive in those times. I could do my training, and then I've still got like 6-7 hours in a day, and I'm just going, eh. But I've started doing drums again and that, and just other things to keep me productive, and yeah, slowly trying to fix my bad habits. But that was what this year was supposed to be, which is fix all the bad stuff, like fix your diet, sleep, everything. And I think one of the main ones been for me is phone, just too much time on the phone, especially before bed. Just like get rid of your anxiety, just sleep. You're there for like 3-4 hours, and then you're like, oh god, it's 3 a.m. and then you can't sleep anyway. So
Yeah.
I think I might actually go back to the old school phone for a bit and literally just have calls, texts. That's it. And then anything I need to do, I have to go on, because I'm so lazy. It's like I'm not going to go on my computer to do my emails and anything. It's like, yeah, but now I actually have to go onto the computer, and if I've got WhatsApp, it's on the computer. So if I actually want to see, I have to log in and do something, and then on the computer I might get a bit more productive and do some other things instead of just, it's on my phone, easy. I'm trying to make things a bit harder in my life, so then hopefully it'll, I don't know, change my kind of mindset.
Yeah.
And then, like in the car, have a sat-nav, have all my music on an MP3 player. So just completely try and eliminate all the features of a smartphone, even though it makes everything easy. But for me, it's just not working at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm too lazy in a way in that sense. I'm just like, I can do it there, done. It's like, no, actually, if I didn't have it, I think I'd be a lot more productive. It's trial and error anyway, see how I go on with it. But I do think it's the next step for me.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I got rid of social media like last year. That was a big thing for me. Because I didn't really... I think it's good if you're like doing it for business and trying to, promote yourself and stuff like that. But for me, I was just looking at what other people were doing and just scrolling, like YouTube. Well, YouTube's become that social media now for me. So I'm like, well, now I need to get rid of YouTube, which means I need to get rid of the smartphone because you can't delete it off your phone. No. So it's all that stuff. So I was trying to just, get all these distractions out of the way so I can just focus on what I'm doing. And then earlier this year, I started doing a diary. That, again, you said your best mental time. That was it. Every day I was doing a diary, just jotting down stuff like, what did I do today? Anything, interesting happen. And I'd do like a interesting fact to learn in the day. If I found something I didn't know, I'd write it down. But I stopped that kind of, I think about April time or May time. So this year, I think, get back on it, try and do a whole year of doing it so I can have a whole diary to look back on. Yeah. And you remember so much. It's insane. I'd go for it down and say, I remember that day. But without it, I can't remember now. Yeah. Up until that point, I don't remember what's happened. Just, special stuff like going to Snowdonia with you and stuff like that. So that's another thing I want to bring in. But, yeah, it's a long journey. I have to do it before I die. There's 2 parts to me, basically. It's do the stunt work because it's the first step for me for then to do all my other goals and dreams. But if I don't do that, I know I've failed in what I set out to do, and then it's just like, well, the other path is pretty much just drugs and killing yourself, pretty much. So it's like you've got 2 paths here, really.
Let's not do that.
No, exactly. So I've got to get on with it. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at the moment. I've kind of had it off 2-3 months of just hating it because it's just my training plateaued, and then I wasn't getting anywhere. But now I'm hopefully getting back on it.
I think you put too much pressure on yourself with it all.
Yeah, that's true.
Like saying that it's like, this is or it's nothing, and trying to be perfect and everything.
Yeah.
I think you need to just like let go of some of that control.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Just, what happens.
Yeah.
That's it, bro.
No, exactly, for sure.
But like what I do, like really respect you for as well is the amount of time and effort this takes, and not just that, but like how much money it all costs.
Oh yeah,
like it is insane. The way I was thinking about it is like I started doing the rock climbing one. That was my first skill that I had done.
Oh yeah.
So I was looking at it and I was like, most people when they do this, who haven't climbed before, they have to pay to do a indoor climbing course. Then they pay to do a leading course. Then they have to pay to learn how to climb outdoors.
Yep.
Then they pay for another course to learn how to trad climb.
Yeah.
And then they have to pay to do the rock climbing instructor course.
Yep.
And then the assessment. And then the assessment through the stunt register.
Oh god, yeah, when I had that, yeah.
And it was just like the amount of money just for that one skill and the amount of time that takes because you have to go off and tick so however many climbs off and everything. And then like that's how I saw you going towards it. Like that's what you were gonna do.
Yeah.
Before like we started climbing together, you was like, I'm gonna do this like indoor climbing course, and I was like, don't.
Yeah.
And you was like, what? And then I was like, I'll just teach you.
Yeah.
Because like at the time I just started working at White Spider. I just started learning how to climb properly and everything. Yeah. And then I was like, I know that a little bit more than you. So as long as I'm keeping learning from the people around me, I can be teaching you.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was going down there, get a job at a climbing centre, get free training, and get access to like the most amount of knowledge to do with climbing that I could.
Yeah.
So I started doing that, and I was just learning non-stop. Like I picked it up so quick because that I was just surrounded by people that knew way more than me.
It was probably
and then that got me to going outdoor climbing. They taught me how to outdoor trad climb and everything.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then I was like, I'll just teach you. And like I had the same thing with like Sam and Jake when we started Monday Club. Like when they came out, they'd just done an indoor climbing course. Like a learn to lead. No, it was literally just like the indoor climbing course, like learning how to tie knots and stuff. They were like, we're about to go to this learn to lead course. And I was like, you're going to pay someone to teach you to learn to lead? They're like, don't think I can do it. And then I was like, no, come climbing with me.
Let's do it.
And like I just took them outside, took them to Taffswell, and I was like, right, this is how you lead. Showed them everything in like an hour and a half, and then I was like, There you go. There's a route.
Boom.
I'll belay you. I'll watch from the bottom. I'll make sure you're safe. And it was like a really easy route, but I was like, you're leading it.
Yeah.
There you go. And I've done that with so many people. I've taught so many people how to lead climb outdoors now and trad climb. Because I've taught you to trad climb. I've taught Dan to trad climb. I've taught like Sam. I've taught Dale. Like there's like loads of people that I've taught how to climb. Not just climb and then trad climb.
No, yeah.
And that they haven't paid a thing.
No, exactly.
Like, I'm not charging for this.
You should be.
I should be. I've done a really good job.
Yeah.
No one's died.
Yeah, that's it.
We've got a few sketchy stories, but we won't get into that.
Right.
That's just us being us, though.
Yeah,
like,
it's just fun,
both of us trying to be... Yeah. It's when I take you away from... Yeah, I'm doing this for the stunt register, and I'm like, no, we're doing this for fun.
Yeah.
Then we get a little bit sketchy sometimes, but completely, it's like calculated sketchiness on my part.
No,
sometimes on your part, it's a bit like you forget.
Yeah.
How dangerous it can be, and then I'm like, Aidan, that was too far.
Yeah, a bit too much.
But yeah, like the amount of time and money that goes into it, and that's just one skill. And then you think like gymnastics, trampolining, you're paying for 1-to-1 classes weekly.
It's the only way I can learn,
and like you're having to pay for like. You've got to pay for access to the gymnastics club. Yeah. You've got to pay 1-for-1 classes. Yeah. You've got to pay access for the rock climbing place.
Yeah.
You've got to pay for these courses. Like there's so much time and money that goes into it. Like that is what like blows me away.
Yeah, I was lucky enough. I did like you similar with the because trampolining I didn't work at club, so that one I did definitely used to do the lessons. But like I said, gymnastics, like you did, I was like, yeah, I'll get a job there. I'll learn it because I was already coaching parkour at the time, and then. I remember they asked me, like, oh, yeah, we need some gymnastics coaches. And I was like, go ahead, I'll try it. So then I started coaching gymnastics at Tolworth. Then I got the free training. And then luckily this year, my the guy that runs it, basically, he was like, oh, yeah, we need a coach on Sunday. Oh, no, that was it. I asked him, basically, like, can I just hire the trampoline and come in? And he was like, oh, I've got kind of a better deal for you. If you come in and just teach, 2 hours on Sunday free, you can come in when our boys train, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning. And I literally was like, boom, sorted. So I was very lucky there. Like I got a nice deal. But I still had to pay for 1-to-1s because he wasn't coaching me. Obviously, it was just I could just use the gym. Yeah. So then obviously I started training a lot of myself, and then now I've gone into paying. And I'm literally like, holy hell, how do people pay for? Like I'm struggling, and obviously I'm not working that hard now. But when I was working like 6-7 days, I probably could have done it. But then I just would have been too knackered to train. Yeah. So it's it's very difficult.
That's what I was going through, when I was doing it, because I was working 2 jobs to afford to do the training, and I was cutting every corner with finances that I could.
That's it.
With the training and with the rest of my life. Like I didn't have anything else. No. Like I'd get up, I'd have to be at the rock climbing gym for 5:30 to be there to strip the routes down, and I'd spend my whole morning stripping routes, washing holds. Then I'd work on reception a bit, and then by the time you came in to train, it was like 10 o'clock. So I've done a 4.5 hour shift at work. Then I'd climb with you, and then I'd go coach gymnastics afterwards. So I'd do a 5-hour shift coaching gymnastics. And then I'd come to your martial arts club, so I could build up my martial arts. So then I was there for like another hour and a half, 2 hours, and I'd do different martial arts on different days, do different training on different days. I'd get to work early so I could train and all of that. And like the amount of time, like I didn't do anything else.
Yeah, that's it.
I was working like 60-hour weeks, and then I was doing training on top of that. And all my money was going into the training, and I was cutting corners for like finances, getting reduced food from the shops. Like that was my life.
I know, it's mad. Isn't it?
Yeah, it gets too much.
Yeah.
So like if you haven't got like a really well-paying job, then it's difficult.
Yeah.
But then we know people, not naming names, who have got a lot of money, and like fair play to them. They've got a lot of money. They can do what they want.
So much easier.
But it almost seems unfair because like they get on the register within a year because they just pay for private lessons for everything.
Yeah.
Like when they could do the scuba diving abroad, they just go away, do like they didn't have to work basically.
No.
They took a year off of work,
Yeah.
and they were just like, yeah, like I'm just gonna go to Caribbean for 4 weeks and get my scuba diving instructor
just
qualifications, and then it was like, right, now I'm gonna do a month-long intensive for rock climbing, and
just
do all of that, do all my shadowing in that month, because I'm not doing any other work, and I've got the money that I don't have to work, and I can just pay for everything, and
hotels, everything done, don't have to,
and then they basically like paid their way through martial arts, black belt as well, because like that's something that like, to anyone, if you look at someone that's a black belt, you're like, they've put years into that.
It's mental.
And then it was just like, no, you can just spend a year training and get to that level.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you can't just train for a year and you're taking like a month off at a time to go off and do these other things and then become a black belt at the end.
I know. It was very dodgy. Honestly.
And it just seems like if you've got money, like, you can be a stuntman. Yeah.
No, it is that case. And it used to be a lot easier back then as well, because remember the gymnastics test, you just had any coach, I think it was level 3,
any level 3 coach could just sign off your skills,
so you could just be like, he's my mate Don, tick. I mean, you could tick me off, innit? They'd just be like, I can do that, can't I? Tick. So that would be gymnastics. Trampoline, like I said, was just there was no like what's it called, not restrictions, rules. Basically it was just you just have to do these moves, that's it, any way you want, basically. So again, that was very quick to do. Like I said, one-to-one lessons. And if you'd already done, it was basically just doing gymnastics on the trampoline, because you didn't have to do it at a certain height, you didn't have to certain technique. No routines, nothing like that. So again, that was easy. Gymnastics, like I said, you could just tick off, just get someone to tick it off for you. Rock climbing, I think, back then was just SPA, single pitch award. And again, even then it was slightly easier than it is now, RCI. It was just more climbs. I think it was like 60 climbs instead, but that was it. And again, you could do it. I think I'm not obviously name the guy, but he did it, I think, with the guy he was learning from anyway. So he was just like, just do all the climbs and I'll just take you off, done. So it's just definitely who you know as well, a lot back then. But fair play, I think they still did high diving, which is obviously, that's still quite difficult.
I don't want to take away from him, because he really did do all of those things.
Smashed it,
and he did work really hard to get there. But it's just like the fact that if you've got enough money that you can just take a year off and still afford to literally travel around the world to get the best training from the best people,
exactly,
then it's like, sure, be a stuntman. But if you've got to work and earn a living on top of your training and find that balance in life and training and everything, then it's going to take you a long time, and it's going to like eat away at you.
Exactly. It's just, that's it, it's the time, because you're just like, you're very slow progression and everything. And it's just every day you got to do it, you got to get up and go and do something, and you're just like, I just want to get there already. And it's just like I said, years, and then like I said, money's going, you can't really save much. I'm lucky enough to be living at home with my parents, and I've kind of been quite good with my money. I've just saved a lot of it. But like with the stunt drive now, I'm like, let's just take most of that and put it into that, so I can just get it done quicker. But that's obviously, I've been saving that since I was because when I was younger, I don't know if you know, I did dancing and that. Do you know about that?
I do know about that.
Yeah, I thought I told you about that. So I did dancing stuff. So I did a lot of like shows. Some of them were quite professional, like just as a kid, dancing and singing. And you'd get like, I think my biggest one was, I did like Oliver West End, and I got like $1,000, 1,500 for that. My mum was very good as well. She's like, no, I'm keeping that. I'm just saying, not keeping it. I'm saving it for you when you get older.
That's my money.
That's my money. You work for me, boy.
Hollywood. Hollywood star. So you're going to go out and do these things that you love doing, but then I'm getting you the money. That's
exactly.
We know your tricks.
Exactly. But and then I did a lot of, it's nothing. I was just, not modelling. I definitely couldn't do modelling now, that's for sure. As a kid, doing modelling stuff, and then a lot of TV stuff, but just like extra work. And as a kid, I got more roles as a kid, funnily enough. Not now. But so I got like some stuff there. Not nothing big, obviously, but just added up of it over time. So obviously, I already had quite a bit of savings, and then when I started working, I would just, because I was living at home, luckily, and not have to pay anything, it would just be. And no food, anything, nothing. So I'd just be eating, obviously, at home, so I'd just get my money straight into savings. I was never into, like, the clubbing, partying scene, so I wasn't spending, like, 200 quid a weekend just to have a night out, I'd be like, why am I doing that? I'll just go climb a roof and sit on a roof and have more fun there doing that stuff, or doing parkour. Like, I just enjoy doing activities more, which are free, basically. So I was very lucky I wasn't into, like, partying and stuff, and just spending money that way, because obviously if that's how you're fun, whatever, but not for me. And luckily enough, that saves you money. So yeah, I managed to luckily save a lot through my life, but that is literally all my life savings. So I almost don't want to go into it either. I kind of want to do some stunt work and use that to pay for the stunt driving. But if it gets too long, then I'll start cutting into that. But I kind of want to keep that, so obviously I can eventually get a deposit on a house and stuff and move out. Because, like, I definitely want to move out my area now. I'm done with it. London's gone. Well, I'm in south-west London, but yeah, it's just not for me anymore. Definitely want to be nearer the countryside or the seaside.
Yeah.
For sure. Nature's just so much better for me. Don't like city life at all. Because, I don't like partying, I don't like any of that stuff. I don't like the conglomerate stuff. And
you like activities?
Yeah.
Hence why I moved to Wales.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, so you're in a really, like, good position with it financially.
Yeah.
Because you've got all that savings, you've been really sensible with it, you still live at home.
Yeah.
And, like, these have all been decisions to allow you to do this.
Yeah.
So, like, you're creating the life that you want, essentially.
Yeah.
So, nothing but respect for that.
Well,
like,
thank you, yeah.
I started down that journey and I was like, I'll move to Wales, things will be cheaper, and, like, because, like, I'd moved out, I was paying for, like, rent, bills, food, everything, so I was working so much just to be able to afford the training, and then I moved to Wales, and then I was like, there's more to life than just this for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, for me, I then saw the fire service, and I was like, I'm going to be a firefighter.
No, 100%.
And I absolutely loved that.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm massively into my coaching, and
exactly.
that is for me.
Yeah.
Stunt work, I don't think was for me. Like, as much as I enjoy it, and as much as I enjoy all of the sports that you've mentioned for the training, and I want to be good at all of them.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. You do.
It's just there's other things I also want to be good at.
No, exactly. That's why. For me as well. So I just want to get it done now.
Yeah.
Because then, like I said, I can move on to other things. Because I've been doing it for a lot longer now. So it's like I've given that time of my life out for this. So if I can tick this off, my future self will be happy that I've said it and I've done it.
Yeah.
And I actually want, like you said, I actually want to go into it as well. Like, if I'd found something like you different, I'd 100% would have taken that route, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me it's just get it done. Then, like, I was even thinking of debating on joining. Like I've told you before, like, not the military, proper military, just like Royal Marine Reserves.
Yeah.
Because then just get the training. If worst case scenario, we get attacked or something, I'd rather be on the defensive side. I wouldn't want to go to war and attack. That's not my personality. It's more in a case of, if I have to survive or I have to defend something, I can defend it. Same with martial arts. That's why I learned that, not to attack people, but to defend yourself. So that's why I think I was like, I'd rather do reserves. Still not sure on it. It's like 80% now. I want to do it just to learn how to, the tactics, like I said, be able to protect myself and the country and that. But obviously I know it's not proper military. It's not. I'm not going to go around and be like, I'm a Royal Marines, I'm a soldier. It's like, no, you train on the weekends, mate, sharp. It's like, and even in the military, they're quite taboo, I think. So for me, it's just a little kind of side quest in my kind of story. But before I do that, I have to do the stunt work. So obviously, once I've done the stunt, I see how that's going. That's kind of, and it's also the fitness challenges of it as well. Like the Royal Marines, I think, is basically the hardest one before SES and SBS. I was like, I wouldn't be able to do that anyway. And I wouldn't want to be an SBS reserve, because that's just such a... Imagine going up like, I'm SES. It's like, you're reserve though, aren't you? It's not... Yeah, I wouldn't do it for that reason. And I think actually that would probably... I don't think I'd be able to actually do that, to be honest. The SES, purely also from the logical side, like, they're so intelligent. Like the map reading, like finding where they are, like... You see me, I leave my keys on a bloody rock crag. In the middle of bloody Peak District, there's a 6-hour drive back and I've lost my keys. It's like, I would not be able to do that training. It's too... The physical side I can push through, but I think it'd be the mental side that would get me. And I'm too... Yeah. When something gets in the way, I can give up quite easily in some things. If it's like fighting, it's a bit different. Like, because obviously when I did my, like, second dan, and obviously when the stakes are high, so when I did my second dan test, I literally the guy had me. I had to fight like 3 people in a grappling. He literally had me in a triangle choke. If you don't know, it's basically their legs around your neck. You basically can't breathe. You literally like that. But it was just not. It wasn't perfect enough where it tapped me out or I'd black out. But it was just enough where I was like, it's about 10, 20 seconds into it. I was like, oh my god, I actually might black out here. And I was debating on tap. I was like, no, you got to push for it. He's going to weaken a bit. And then literally 10 seconds later, I saw his legs go a bit, and I went, okay, get out of it. So in that sense, I won't give up. But like in some cases, especially if it's like mental, I can, not necessarily physical challenge, but like a mental challenge. You know, like with climbing and stuff, for me, it's like once that gets there in your head, I'm like, I've got to calm down, or I can't do it. So yeah, I wouldn't think I'd do that. But anyway, yeah, I'm thinking the Royal Marine Reserves is more like the physical challenge is there, like the 30-mile hike and that.
See, that's the military fitness testing and the sort of the dedication and the discipline that they had.
Yeah.
Always appealed to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when I was growing up, that was what got me into fitness. I hated sports as a kid. Hated it. I was the least sporty kid you would have ever known.
Yeah.
You'd look at me and be like, yeah, computer nerd.
Yeah.
Like spends his time gaming.
Yeah, that was me.
All his lunchtimes in the library. Doesn't go out, do sports. Like I was the least sporty kid out of everyone.
Yeah.
And like
now you're
complete
probably
180.
You're probably the most sporty kid now.
Yeah, like I do like every sort of individual sport you can imagine, and I'm running an ultra marathon next weekend. And it's just like you know what, like rock climbing today, ultra marathon tomorrow, strongman competition, Olympic weightlifting, done it all.
Exactly. That's it. I love it.
And that all came from I wanted to be in the military.
Yeah.
So when I was about probably 14, 15, I just, in my head, I was like, it just appealed to me. I was like, I want that discipline. I want that physical and mental challenge.
Yeah.
And I started just training for it. And then I realised that I didn't want to be in the military because I don't like the politics of it. I don't like...
No, I agree with you.
Like the idea of going out and killing people. I just like the discipline.
No, exactly. No, I agree with that.
And now I've sort of just like made that part of my personality is I've got a sort of like, I wouldn't even say it's military level discipline, but military inspired discipline. That's a better wording for it.
No, I know what you mean.
Because obviously, if you're not in the military, you don't have military discipline.
No, exactly.
There's no way you're giving yourself that unless you're David Goggins.
No, exactly. Yeah. You can't be on that level. Yeah.
So there's very few people that are at the stage to give themselves military level discipline. Yeah, but exactly. Like I said, military inspired. Like
it is. Yeah.
Being that. Like push yourself constantly.
Exactly.
And that's led me to Adventure Athletes and starting this podcast.
Yeah, love it.
So, I completely get what you mean with talking about becoming a reserve and everything. Like,
yeah, because I don't know. It's like you said, you literally should like the military discipline. I just kind of, it's something I look at it every day. Not every day, but some days I'm like, I can almost imagine me doing it. Yeah. But like I said, like I'm not doing I wouldn't be able to do it regular. They're just a different level. Like, because I
still really want to.
I know, it's just...
Like, it's there, like, but, there's...
It's the freedom as well. You're, like, locked into it as well.
It's not even that. Like, that side doesn't bother me. But that's when I sort of... That, again, took me to the fire service.
Yeah,
like,
there you go, yeah.
I had that same sort of... Not exactly the same level of discipline, but... a similar level of discipline with similar like risk involved so you need to be at the top of your game physically and mentally
100%,
but there's a different reason for it exactly. And I love that and that's what gives me the urge to move to Canada and become a smoke jumper
I can
I back of my head I'm like one day
what's a smoke jumper?
So smoke jumper I found this out through David Goggins because I had no idea about this. It's not a thing in the UK. You have to go to places like California where there's massive wildfires and basically they parachute into the middle of the fire to fight the fire from the inside because like there'll be the starting point of the fire and it will spread and then because all that's burnt in the middle it's safe to be in the middle but it's still spreading out So then, like, they found one of the best ways to do it is they go into the middle of the fire with the equipment, and most of the time, like, you're digging holes, digging trenches, making fire breaks. It's really, like, insanely physical work. It's like the top level of like wildland firefighting is becoming a smoke jumper, and it's the hardest type of firefighting to get into. And the fact that it's the hardest is what makes me want to do it.
That's what it is.
And like having my own experience in the fire service, and
you should go for
it.
Just
100%. It makes me want to do it.
But parachuting,
coaching, that's got me. Coaching is like taken over my life. So that's the thing that's like stopping me from doing it. But if something were to happen where I couldn't coach anymore, like, that is the first job I'd go for.
100%.
But I gave up firefighting for coaching.
Yeah, exactly.
So I made that choice. We all got to make things.
I know. I appreciate that. Yeah, because I think I remember I kind of vaguely spoke to you about it, like my kind of journey with. Obviously, it's martial art teaching, so it's a bit different, but it's basically teaching people. I lost a lot of my passion, I think, when I was doing it every day, but also, again, because I got the stunt thing. But I think it was different with martial art, because obviously with gymnastics, you can go level 3, 4, you can keep progressing with your coaching, and also you train as well, and you can, whereas martial art, I got to the highest point on my level from that place anyway, and then it was just, they're just like, I remember they offered me to get a third dan, and I was like, why? It's like, you did like dedicate a year for us in South Korea, and I was like, I'm not doing a test though, and I'm worse than I was when I was, like a year ago, like I haven't trained. And I was just
like internally you knew that you didn't deserve it.
No, exactly. And then
it was just more of like you've helped us out.
Yeah.
Like, we feel like you've earned this, but from the actual pure martial artist in you were like,
no, it's like I need to do because I did 3 fights for my second dan. I was like, okay, I need to do 4 fights. They also need to be punching, and my patterns, which is like almost like dances, and karate is kata, and taekwondo is pumse, which is just your forms. Like, my forms okay, but I'm like, for what I envision what a third dan is insane. Like, that's like up here and I'm here. There's no chance. So I was getting to a point in my teaching where I couldn't teach anything more. I've basically done everything what I knew and taught everything I knew. Obviously, like, you get white belts, you can start again from it, but there was just nothing fresh coming into my mind.
Yeah.
And also, because I wasn't dedicated to teaching, I was doing stunt work, it was kind of just a side thing for me. So then I was just like, well...
It's that need for growth, isn't it?
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not getting anywhere with this, and I'm not helping anyone now. My purpose originally was to help people grow, but I'm not growing now, so I can't pass that on to people. So I went with teaching. I still want to do it, I think, in the future, but it's now like I need to now train. Like you said, get it would be the equivalent of gymnastics, get higher levels, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I need to train. Other stuff as well. I want to go into boxing, I want to go into jiu-jitsu, I want to get more black belts, more training and all that, wrestling.
Yeah.
And then open my own club and just teach my thing, not a specific syllabus, which I also disagree with now, because they added in stripes as well. So it's like, instead of 8 belts, it's 16. Like, it's just dead. It's just, no one wants to do that. Like, and it doesn't matter like what belt you are as well. We're not actually that good, like, sparring wise. Like, because especially with my style, it's everything, absolute like weapons mixes, mixed martial arts as well. But there's not so much sparring involved, which is pretty much the whole point of martial arts, to be able to protect yourself fighting. So for me, it was like I wasn't agreeing with the syllabus. Like I said, I wasn't getting anywhere with it.
Yeah.
I couldn't really be free with it either, and I could teach, like, again, my stuff, but I had to again follow the syllabus.
Yeah.
So I didn't, like I say, if you don't agree with syllabus, it's just I just lost my passion. I was doing it every day as well. It became just a desk job almost.
I think it sort of gets to the point where, like, you realise that everything you've put into it hasn't been for nothing. Like, you've learned a lot from it, and it's taken you a long way. But it's just, that's the end of that journey.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Like, the road's got to its dead end. And that's the destination for that, and you need to start exploring other avenues.
Yeah.
And, like, that was similar with me with gymnastics, where I started moving clubs. I felt like the first club I was at, I wasn't really interested in teaching gymnastics. Yeah. Like, whatever was there just wasn't that interesting for me. And I moved to Wales, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I hadn't set up a job, but I was looking at gymnastics jobs along with other stuff because I was like, oh, I know that. Like, that's a safe option. I know I could get a job. I've got some qualifications in it now. Like, I can do something with it.
Yeah.
And then I found my next club, and I really enjoyed it there. I got to the point where I started like actually learning what it was like to coach gymnastics, and I fell in love with the sport there.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's when I fell in love with coaching. And then I got to the point where that felt like I wasn't getting anywhere, and it didn't feel like there was any next steps. And then I've moved, and now like I've realised I know nothing about gymnastics. With the guys I'm around, I'm like, oh my god, I knew nothing. Looking back, even looking back to my first club, I can't believe how little I knew.
Yeah.
And and then I go like from my first club to my second club, and I'm thinking back, and I'm like, I got to the point where I was like a decent coach at the first club, moved to the second club, and I'm like, yeah, I'm an alright coach still. I've got way different because we've got a squad and we do competitions, and I got loads to learn and learn all of that. And then I was like, yeah, like I think I know everything about gymnastics. Like, this is how you coach a round off. Thought I knew how to coach a round off. And then I moved to this other club, and then like the head coach is like, oh, what's the hand position for a round off? And I was like, oh yeah, well, people say it's like an upside down T, or you can do like both hands like backwards. And then he was like, no, that's wrong.
What is it then? Is it
like you have to have like your hands like that, so your thumb is in line with your finger, and it's like there's a very specific hand placement for a round off, and like something as simple as a round off, which I thought I knew, and like cartwheels, and like I was like, I've been coaching cartwheels wrong.
I know.
And it's like the amount of detail that you get down to in these basics. And like I'd written a book about handstands, and then he's teaching me stuff about handstands, and I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, oh my god, there is so much that I didn't know. But you don't know that you don't know. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect, where it's like the less you know, the more you think you know. And you're at like, if you feel like confidence is like on this side, and then your actual knowledge is on this side. Yeah. You start up there with like no knowledge and no confidence, but you think you know a lot, and it's like, oh yeah, like I know this. Yeah. And then the more you learn, then the less you think the less confident you are in everything. And then it's like, oh, like there's so much to learn. And then it's only when you start going back up again that you actually know what you're on about, and it's like that's when you get to be like a professional in that thing.
100%.
And like a specialist. Like, think about, I always use this example to people. Think about like doctors. How many people are going to give you medical advice? If you say, oh yeah, like I've like got this bad shoulder, and they're like, oh yeah, it's because you're doing this and you're doing that, and it's like, how much medical or physio training have you ever done in your life? Nothing. Yeah. Okay, you don't know what you're on about, but you really think you do. Yeah. And then you get to know someone that might be doing like physiotherapy in uni, and then they're like, oh, like that's above my head, like don't know anything. And then when they start going out and working and building their confidence and actually realising they do know what they're on about, that they become a specialist. And some people never get there. They take that hit in the ego, being like, I'm not confident, there's too much to learn. They give up. Yeah. And then it's the people that stick with it that do. But yeah, I was definitely at that point where I thought I knew everything, and there was literally nothing that I knew. Yeah,
it comes from also when I did when I started doing boxing with my mate. He's pretty much like, he's had so many street fights. His whole life has been confrontation basically, whereas mine has been peaceful. So we're pretty much opposite in that sense. Yeah. But obviously I've been training. He hasn't done it. But we did boxing. He just smashed me up because I'd never done like just boxing or never fought, and he was obviously much bigger, stronger than me, and I was like, oh my god, I'm getting humbled. It's insane. Like, he's just smashing, and he was slow as well, but he's still getting me and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, I literally know nothing about boxing. I was just getting, you think you know it all, and then bam, bam,
that was
bam,
like me when I moved to Wales. Like, I'd done martial arts because I trained with you. Yeah. I'd done karate for years before I started training with you. Then I was training with you. Then I did taekwondo for about a year. Oh, nice. and I'd done some boxing before, and like I'd done all these different martial arts, but one thing I'd never done was grappling. And my mate, I was just at the free running club, and my mate was just like, oh yeah, like let's have a little grapple, like I've been doing like a little bit of like jiu-jitsu, and he was brand new to it, like he wasn't a jiu-jitsu fighter at all. Like he'd never been in a fight, he'd done some sparring because that's what you do in the BJJ classes. I think he'd been doing it for like a month, 6 weeks. It was like, yeah, let's do some grappling. Straight away I was like tapping. I was like,
exactly.
You just don't know what's going on.
No, mate, I feel you for that one. Yeah, so that's because I was, it was pretty much similar to me, but I've become more from grappling. But even me, like, because our club is generic, it goes for everything. I kind of look at my club more as like in terms of gymnastics, be recreational, not competitive. Whereas obviously if you went to jiu-jitsu club, that's like competitive jiu-jitsu. Or if you go to boxing, it's competitive boxing. Whereas our one, there was no competitions. Just says it all, really. But obviously we still do sparring. You still get good at most things, but you're not ever going to beat someone in their realm, basically. Even if I go to jiu-jitsu, probably, like you said, even your mate or the white, they'd probably get me because I only know very few techniques for grappling. Same thing, like I said, when I did boxing with him, like he just watched boxing every day and he practiced every day, so he just knew. So obviously he'd had all the fighting experience, actual real life fighting, and then he'd actually trained a bit on his own watching, so he could just, his IQ is up here, like massive amounts to me for boxing. So then, I go try and go in that realm, it's like, oh crap, I don't know this realm either. So it's like, I kind of know bits in each of these realms, but then when I started teaching, I was just like, and then asking me questions specifically for boxing, I'm like, I've worked it out in my head, but I'd actually like to have done more boxing to be like, okay, that's exactly how you're supposed to do it this way. Same with jiu-jitsu, and that's why I think with my teaching career, with my path, I think, like I said, once I get on the stunt register, I'm going to go straight back into training and probably train for like another 5-10 years. And then be like, okay, start teaching again and work at other, like you said, work at other gyms. Because our golden age is finished. We used to have like a massive gym. It was in Isleworth. We had like we had like 10 instructors. Left with just me now. Well, now another guy's come back, so there's just 2 instructors left and our bosses who taught us. And then they kind of don't really have love for it anymore. Like one of my bosses works in a cafe now. That's really all he does. He just runs the cafe. He does, grade the martial art tests and that. And then the other one went to South Korea, which obviously I went to help him in South Korea. Tried to open a school there, it failed. So it's just, you just know the golden age is over. I just knew it. It's like, and my passion ain't there anymore because you guys don't even have passion for it, and you're supposed to be above me and my bosses, and it's just like, what are we doing? And then the dojo as well, there's not much equipment in there anymore, so I can't be that, being creative with what I've got, but I'd love to have much more equipment, much bigger spaces, longer classes so I can do sparring, and it's just like, I've got no choice now to either train, and also I think when I'm training I want to work at another, like an MMA gym or something, or work at a boxing gym. I want to get my boxing coaching qualifications up, like I said, go jiu-jitsu, get like, obviously that takes like 10-12 years, I don't care. If I can, I'll try and get black belt in that as well. And then I can hopefully teach again. And obviously I'll be older, wiser. I need to now experience other things because I've just done that for like 7 years and I haven't really progressed much. Obviously I've learned how to teach through it, but the knowledge I need to teach, I need more of it basically. There's not much I can do. So now it's at the point where I don't care enough for it. I'm kind of just using it just to get money now, just teaching like that. It's not really...
You seem very much like me where you want to go out and get humbled.
Yes,
to the point where, like, a lot of people, once they've dedicated so long to something, they don't want to go back to scratch.
No.
But that going back to scratch,
it's great.
I love that feeling of, like, wow, like, this is a whole new world.
Exactly.
And there's so much to learn.
Yeah.
And then, like... I take it to the other extreme. You're very dedicated. When you get in that, you're like, I want to learn absolutely everything. And you take it to that extreme. And look, that's your perfectionism. You want to get everything perfect with it. Whereas I'm a lot more, like, jumpy about, like, I'll be like, when I get into something, I get into it. Like, I did Olympic weightlifting.
Yeah, exactly.
Went to, the best club in Wales. Went there. Trained there 6 days a week. Like, I was always there.
Yeah, it's more intense.
In the mornings, I was getting there before work, training, and then did that for like a year, competed. Then I was like, oh, what's this other thing? And then I got into like just other things, and I just go about and I'll do stuff for like a year and learn loads to the point where I'm better than average.
Yeah, that's good.
And then I get to the point where it just sort of like naturally plateaus.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's like that's where you have to step it up a notch if you want to keep going with it, which is what you do. That's the point where I'm like, let's start again.
Yeah, no,
let's do something else. So
yeah, I'm like that with certain things, but I'm similar to you in that sense. With like with my music journey, I've tried it all now. Like I did guitar for a year, and I was like, yeah, I'm enjoying this, but I was trying to be creative with it. I'm still okay at it. And then I did bass. Yeah. Because my mate I get walked with every day, he's basically a songwriter. He's insanely good because he's had such a like tough life, so he can obviously write very good songs, lyrically as well. But he obviously was like, yeah, it'd be great if you could play in my band bass. I was like, okay, I'll try and learn bass. I'd originally tried to do drums, and then when I was in Korea I did drums, but because I wasn't playing with anyone, again I got a bit bored of that after a year. So it's literally that year point like you're saying. So I did all three, and now it's just I've did drums, and that's the first time I've not performed with, just practiced in a rehearsal room. I was like, I love this now. Like I want to get good at this. So it's like some things I'll have that thought, but I don't train it as intense though. I'd say I do like an hour a day max of something, or 2 hours. Whereas my songwriter mate, he's just works on a different level. He's like, yeah, I just did 9 hours of songwriting. So I'm like, 9 hours? You spent 9 hours doing that? How would you do that? I'd love to be able to do that something. But he's just but he's like, he can do something intensely. It's all or nothing. Like, or he'll just leave completely, it's gone, it's in the past. Let's do this next thing intensely. Obviously for him, music is going to be his main thing. Yeah. But like he was saying to me, it's like, yeah, other things I do, I'm just very intense with them for a point until I get to a point where it's like, if I don't like it, or it's not where I can leave it. Yeah. Or pause it and come back to it another time. Yeah. So I completely get that. Yeah, yes. But I'm like you, I just want to learn. I want to learn everything. Obviously, I'll never be able to learn everything.
That's it. Like, there's only... We get one life.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's so much to experience. Like, don't pigeonhole yourself.
Exactly.
Just try it all.
Exactly. Just do it all. As much as you can.
Yeah. On that note, thinking about everything we've spoken about, thinking about your life advice. Yeah. Like, just your whole life. What is one piece of advice that you would give to anyone listening to this podcast?
Just in general, yeah?
Yeah, just one, your biggest piece of advice for anyone.
I mean, we kind of said it. It's like, yeah, try everything, do everything, but... Oh, there's so many different things. There's little things I can give, but... Oh, wait. Yeah, I suppose the easiest, the one we've kind of covered, really. It's just, like, try everything. As much as you can, do as much as you can with your life, basically. Don't just set down one path. There's so many different pathways you can take. So just try everything, really. Obviously, you can have one major kind of goal, but you have to have little kind of side goals or side quests to do in your life, and just keep going on that path, keep doing what you're doing, find something you love. It's obvious advice, like don't work in something you just want for money for. But then for some people, that's it for them. Like, they have that mindset where it's just work, get the money, use the money to enjoy themselves. Whereas for me, it's like, no, find a job that gives you purpose. You know, might not make much money from it, but you get purpose. It's something you can do every day and love it, really. But it's just obvious advice, like most people know. But
I think that was like a really good distinction there, because I think that there's like a spectrum of like, you can either do something that you absolutely love and you might get absolutely nothing from it, like financially, or you take the other route, like you would have like no money, no time, like something along those lines, where it restricts you in some way because you're doing the thing that you love, and it might eat up your social life, your family life. There's something that's going to be missing because you're so focused on that. Or you go the other route, which is what you work for money, but then you've got enough money to enjoy yourself the rest of the time, and you just need to find where you lie on that spectrum.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, I'm at that lower end of I don't earn a lot, but I absolutely love what I do.
Yeah, exactly.
But then I look at Sam, he's a postman. He loves climbing. Yeah. He works as a postman. Yeah. So he can go climbing more often.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's, we're opposite ends of the spectrum, but we're both in that sort of happy place. But it's different for everyone.
Yeah, it's finding the balance as well, I suppose. Like for me as well, even the stunt work, it's more of getting those skills ticked off. I've set a goal, I've done the goal, so I know it's almost confidence in myself. Okay, if I set myself a goal now, I can do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a massive goal, and a long time goal. But that's actually more of the thing. Like, I know when I get it ticked off, it won't be like a massive like celebration. It'll just be a massive relief. Just I can actually do what I set out to do.
Yeah.
And obviously, the actual work itself, I'm not too fussed about. Obviously, I know it's a lot of money. So that's lucky in that sense that actually something I do love, all these sports. Well, then I can do a job but like I said, doing like 10 hours on a movie set and sitting around, I hate it. I just want to do some training. So for me, actually, like my ideal job would probably be owning my own like martial art dojo, teaching. Once I've done everything to be able to do that, have my own place, my own dojos to teach what I want, outdoors, take people climbing, that kind of stuff. Have like an outdoorsy job where I'm always in nature, away from like cities and stress, just in the countryside. Obviously have some small towns and stuff, but yeah, just be in nature. Like, that's my actual happiness goal, I'd say.
Yeah.
But to get there, I've got to do these other little steps, so then it'll get me to that eventual final goal.
Yeah.
So then I can but still enjoy it on the way. Like, I'm not doing it as much as I say I hate the training. I kind of enjoy it as well, but it is just
it's just frustrating.
It's frustrating, yeah. But when I look back on it, I'll appreciate it massively.
And I think it is just you putting too much pressure on yourself, because I think you could do most of the assessments now.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, good luck for your rock climbing assessment
hopefully,
next week.
Smash it.
Yeah, you're going to smash it after watching you the past couple of days. 100% you're ready for it, bro. So yeah, good luck, and thank you for coming on.
No worries, thank you, it's been fun.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Adventure Athletes podcast. If you like this episode, make sure you follow us on Instagram, Spotify and YouTube, and share our content around. It helps more than you can ever imagine. Now, if there's a person in particular that you want to hear from, or a topic that you want us to cover, just drop us a message, let us know in our DMs, and we'll make sure we try and reach out to the relevant people to cover that topic for you. We're always trying to make content that you guys want to listen to. We have just dropped our website. It's adventureathletes.co.uk, and you can go on there to find out the range of different services we offer. So we have sports massage, different training programs, and personal training, both online and in person, that you can sign up to on the website. So make sure you go and check us out at adventureathletes.co.uk.